What's up guys, welcome to a how-to episode of GROWLAB. Today we're going to be building a homemade light trap using only materials you can find at Home Depot or Home Hardware or Lowe's or whatever your favorite hardware store is. But first off, why do we need light traps? Basically, to control the light schedule of cannabis, we need a 12-12 light and dark cycle for flowering. This can be achieved using a grow room or a light depth greenhouse, but there's one problem, which is airflow. If it's still light outside and our grow room or greenhouse is in dark cycle, when our fans kick on, it's going to let in a lot of light. This is a problem for cannabis plants because they like it pretty much completely dark. Otherwise, we can run into problems like re-vegging or herming, and trust me, we don't want that. So why don't we just buy a light trap like these? Well, for a couple reasons. One, they're very expensive. Two, they're hard to find a size exactly what you need. And three, this was filmed during the beginning of coronavirus and we just simply couldn't get them, so we had to get creative and come up with our own. Now today we're building a fairly large one for our light depth greenhouse, but really you can scale down the dimensions and make a 12x12 for your grow tent exhaust fan or a 20x20 for your grow room air exchange. It's really up to you, just do your homework and watch this video, and by the end you'll have no problem building your own whatever size you need. Our materials are pretty basic. We have some Ondura roof panels from Home Depot or Lowe's, some 1/2-inch electrical conduit PVC, and some threaded rod and a few nuts and washers. So first we're going to measure the size of our shutter and come up with the size that we want our light trap to be. Our shutters here are 38 inches, but remember it's good to go a couple inches over just because there's going to be a little bit of air blockage between 10 and 15%. So for this, since these panels are 79 inches, I'm just going to easily cut them in half and do a roughly 40x40 panel. Now we're going to mark out our cut marks. Remember, we need 2 ridges on each panel to block the light and any reflection. This means on each sheet we'll get 4 panels in width. Now I'm getting 2 panels in length of each sheet because I'm just cutting it in half. But if you were only doing, say, a 12-inch light trap, you could get up to 6 panels out of each sheet in length. If you're using these exact Ondura roof panels, to get the number of panels you're going to need for your light trap, take the width, in our case 40, and divide it by 1.75. For us that comes out to about 23 panels. Here we have 3 sheets, cut into 8 panels per sheet, which gives us 24 panels. Next we stack up our panels and drill a hole in all 4 corners to allow the threaded rod to pass through. Just a side note, in case you aren't using Ondura panels, measure the depth of your ridges and then take off about 1/4 inch to figure out how much space and width each panel will take up, plus the air gap in between. These panels have a depth of 2 inches, which is pretty ideal, which is why I recommend them. So that means each single panel will take up 1.75 inches with the panel plus the air gap. Now I'm just measuring out our threaded rod. Our width is 40 inches, so I'm just cutting these a couple inches over, and I'll cut them down to size once it's fully assembled. So now we're going to cut our PVC spacers. A quick tip before you start though, take the blade in your miter saw, it can just be a standard wood blade, and turn it around backwards. This will stop the plastic from chipping off during cutting and just make it a lot easier and a lot smoother cuts. Now I'm measuring the width from the blade. We're going to make these spacers about 1 1/8 inches, so I'm just putting a piece of blocking at 1 1/8 inches so I can make fast, consistent cuts. Here I'm just putting a washer and the end nuts on one end of the threaded rod, and then I'm going to start feeding it through the panels. Now I'm taking one of the 1 1/8 inch spacer and putting it on each rod. Then I'll just put on another panel and repeat until I've done it about 22 times. Once you have it to your desired width, just put on a washer and another nut to tighten it up, and then I'm just going to cut off the excess threaded rods. So that's it, the core of the light trap is now done. Now we just need some sort of casing to mount it to the wall and stop light from leaking in through the ends. For this, I'm just going to whip up a quick frame out of 2x4 and chipboard, but for you, you can build it as beautiful as you want, as cleanable as you want, or just whip something up quick like this. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this can solve some problems in your grow room or your greenhouse or even just your grow tent. I couldn't find any how-tos on this, so I'm hoping that this can help you guys out. Real quick, here's a fan running while it's daylight outside with the light trap installed. And here's the same fan opening up when it turns on with the light trap not installed. And again with it on. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe and like. It goes a long way in helping out the channel and making it easier for me to dedicate more time to create videos. Thanks a lot, guys. Till next time, thanks for watching GROWLAB.